Today we've got the maiden flight on the Freewing 90mm T-45 version 2. They've shed about 300 grams on this plane by taking off the leading edge slats and going with a lighter weight motor. You also lose 4 servos that operated the leading edge slats, so should fly a lot lighter. Let's take a look at the equipment we got for today. We've got an SMC 6S 5300 high voltage pack, a Spectrum 8360T mounted sideways on the wall there, and then we've got it balanced by the book, which is 63 millimeters from these intakes right here. So it comes to right about here. Using the rates that I use on some of the other flights, I had a version 1 about a year ago, got several flights on it, sold it before I did the flight review on it. However, I was actually on the look for one of these, found one. So let's get this bird up in the air and see how this T-45 performs.
Mid-rate. Low rate. Time remaining 3 minutes. Low rate.
So you're going a little bit to the left. Climbing a little bit. I went to low aileron and low elevator. PG feels pretty good on it. Feels really nice. Ailerons I got on low, they're still a little touchy. Elevator's still a little touchy. We might have to lower it down next flight. I think the battery needs to go forward just a little bit. So. I'm gonna bring it around. Put the gear down. And when I get on the side on the flat slow, take the flap.
Time remaining 2 minutes. Landing flaps.
Flaps. Don't feel like it needs nothing, so I can approach and be easy on the stick. And that's sufficient airspeed. Grab on the bit.
Speed brake full.
Went ahead and took it. Looked good coming in, went ahead and took it. So put the speed brake on, slow it down at the end of the runway. We'll taxi it back. Flaps up.
Flaps up.
We only flew for about a minute and 30 seconds. But I know it was gonna be that good coming in. It walked a little bit sideways and we got it in, so let's take it back to the bench.
Now we've got the maiden flight completed on the Freewing T-45 version 2 90mm. Do a little recap of the flight. Took off, pulled a little bit to the right, however it wasn't bad. And this plane is very stable when you take off, even with the shock absorbent on the rear gears being quite a bit of travel. It doesn't really tip that much. Took off, and the double nose wheel is definitely going to help it with stability. So, you know, once we got it lined up, pretty much with the rudder, took off down the runway, pulled out. I could tell when it came off the runway it was going to need some down because it actually jumped up quite a bit. That being said, got on the downwind, pulled up the gear. We gave it 4 clicks of down elevator and 3 clicks of left aileron, so very minimal trim. Future flight, I can tell I'm going to dial down the rates a little bit. They're still aggressive even on a low rate. Brought it in, you know, flew around just for a little bit, but the flight was pretty short. We got 140 left on the timer on throttle, and it was a 3-minute timer. So we got down, you know, just a little bit over a minute and a half or so. That being said, when it came in, you can see that the crosswind slid it sideways a little bit. We didn't have AS3X on, so we were just flying no gyro on that entire flight. Brought it in, felt good, sat it down, and the nose came down a little bit. I forgot to anticipate how much it sinks down with the gear when it touches down, because you'll notice it's got quite a bit of travel. Let's look at the battery report. I imagine we're gonna have quite a bit left. It being a 90 though, I went with a 5300. But let's see what we got after that short flight up in the air. The main thing is I just want to get up and get it trimmed out. So 78%, 4.04 on the voltage, and somewhere around 4.4, 4.5. So 78%, definitely had quite a bit of flying left, pretty much be expected to have her. I hadn't ran a 5300 and a 90mm in quite a while, so I just want to get it up, get it trimmed out, and go ahead and shoot approach. Sometimes it's like that though. You bring it in, and on the first approach, it looks good, and you just go ahead and take it. So one additional thing I really liked was this plane has a speed brake on it. When I got it down on the runway, hit the speed brake, it instantly deploys, and it slowed the plane down really quick. So we got it dead stop and then turned it around on the runway. Overall good flight. I really like how this bird flies versus the version 1. The version 1's got a little bit more scale, as we talked about before the maiden flight. However, this plane flies a lot lighter, and I went with a much lighter pack. The last time I flew a T-45, that version 1, it had an 800 gram pack. This one has a 725 gram pack. So we lost 75 grams just by going to a different type of battery. I appreciate y'all watching today. If you're not following the channel, go ahead and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.